Hi, everyone. Welcome to Talent Summit 2023. I'm Steve, GEM's CEO, and it's really great to be here with you all. I know it's a really busy time of year and that you've got a long list of ways to spend your time, so thank you. Thank you for choosing to spend it with us. When I looked at the registration list, it was incredible to see representation from thousands of companies across 17 different industries and all different parts of talent acquisition, from department leaders to rec ops to recruiters to sourcers, talent marketers. We have got an incredible group gathered here today. This is definitely shaping up to be our best Talent Summit yet. The theme for this session and for Talent Summit as a whole is thriving in a new era of talent acquisition. Shortly after COVID started, we entered an economic boom that fueled a hiring frenzy across pretty much every industry. Demand for recruiting had never been higher and unemployment had never been lower. In many ways, it was this beautiful chaos for the talent acquisition community. Since then, though, we've entered a new stage that many are calling the era of efficiency. If you work for a large company, leadership is likely paying attention to the public markets and stock price and looking to cut costs. If you work for a startup, you're likely managing cash burn against unprecedented economic uncertainty. And some of you, many of you, may have gone through layoffs or even hiring freezes. There are certainly exceptions to the rule, like healthcare and AI, but by and large, the grow at all costs mentality, it's come and it's gone. In this era of efficiency, TA is being asked to do more with less. I've heard it from all corners of our industry over the last 12 months, including from so many of you here today. Sometimes it's less budget. Sometimes it's less people. And oftentimes it's both. But even with less, TA is still expected to produce. Everyone still expects the hires yesterday. You're even more expected to stay on budget or else. And all the while, folks are needing to find the time to showcase their impact. Operating in these conditions, it's hard, and everyone's trying their best. But doing more with less simply isn't realistic. To do more, you need more. And if it can't come from more people, if it can't come from more budget, it has to come from your technology. In this session, we're going to dive deep into how you can navigate this era of efficiency by making smart investments and demanding more from your technology and your vendors. We're going to start with a hyperspeed summary of the TA tech stack and how it's evolved in the recent years, but also how it's gotten so much better while getting so much worse at the same time. Then we're going to walk through market research on what most TA teams wish were different. And this is going to be drawn from over 2,000 conversations with leaders, with practitioners like yourselves. And finally, we're going to share some recommendations for reaching that holy grail of doing more with less, including several ways that GEM can help. A few new products that we're unveiling today, including a really, really big one. You're going to be excited. You're going to want to stick around for that. But before we get into all that, I wanted to share something that I think is really important for all of us to remember right now, especially during tougher times like these, where our industry is hitting speed bumps along the road. Those of you who attended Talent Summit last year, you may remember it. And that is that talent is timeless. People are the single most important thing that determines whether companies succeed or fail. And that means all of you here today, but it also means all of the people that you bring into your companies, into your businesses. And that's why the talent acquisition function has become one of the most strategic functions over the past 10 years. And it's why over the next 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, TA will only become more and more important. History shows us that every market has ups and downs. Hiring may ebb and it may flow, but it always bounces back, usually to new record highs. And each of these cycles only increases the strategic value of talent acquisition over time. I know it's tough to feel that in the moment, but so long as we can embrace change, so long as we can evolve to meet the needs of the time of this current moment, we can all emerge stronger. And it's imperative that we do so because talent is timeless. So the question becomes, how do we navigate today's demands to do more with less while setting ourselves up to emerge stronger on the other side? And for that, I'm going to pass it off to Jeff, GEM's head of marketing.
Thanks, Steve. And hello, everyone. Let's talk TA Tech Stack. I'll tell you up front, things have changed a lot in a very short amount of time. To put it all in perspective, let's see some visuals courtesy of our friends at Talent Tech Labs, who produce an incredible TA ecosystem report each year. To start, flash back to 2015, which for perspective is 3 presidents and 5 Taylor Swift albums ago. At the time, there were 160 vendors in the TA ecosystem spanning only 4 categories, which are the colors you see on the screen, and 29 subcategories, which are the circles or bubbles. Within those, there were common groupings like applicant tracking systems, job boards, and a few others. Now, jump ahead to 2023, and you'll see there are 550 vendors across 16 categories and 42 subcategories. We've got breakouts for entirely new areas like social search, recruitment marketing, and robotic process optimization. And what's represented here is just a selection of 2,000 vendors who asked to be considered for inclusion in the report. Wow. What that means is that in the span of 8 years, we've added 390 notable vendors in 12 technology categories. What's also happening, but hard to see here, is that many categories are blending into each other. So you may have purchased 4 tools offering something that they call a CRM. That's the macro view, but how does this translate to what the average team uses every day? There are many sources out there with slightly different stats, but the general estimate is that the average TA team has anywhere between 5 and 25 pieces of technology. That's about 5 to 10 for smaller companies and 10 to 25 at the enterprise level. That's a lot. And hey, let's be real. The tech stack has become a bit overwhelming. It's no wonder CFOs are clamping down. I was talking about this recently with a TA leader in the fintech space who I've known for quite a long time, and they described the situation they're in as, the words were, forced consolidation. In addition to recruiting budgets going down about 50%, their company's built out its procurement process, and the approval thresholds are now reduced to the point that any purchase over 20K has to be approved by the CFO, even those that are personally submitted by the VP of TA. So that left her with a really hard dilemma. How can she have less tech, but get more from it so she can deliver on her goals? I imagine many of you are in similar positions. If you are, I'll offer 2 recommendations based on what the TA leaders I've spoken with are doing. First, if you don't use it, lose it. Or as Marie Kondo would say, make sure it sparks joy. If you've purchased products that look great on paper, but nobody logs in just because they're too complicated, maybe they're not helpful, what value are they really bringing? Second is demand more from your vendors. Not more features, buttons, and tabs, but more impact in the terms that matter to you. Maybe that's hiring efficiency, hiring speed, or just peace of mind that you have the data you need. The same applies to the human side of things. Are the people managing your account bringing new ideas, sharing product updates, and truly helping to drive your success? These recommendations apply across the TA tech stack. And if you're using or looking at GEM, you should absolutely hold us to that same bar. Now, there's a quote that I love from Sarah White at Aspect 43 Research. Sarah is a 20-year industry veteran, and she's actually speaking on a panel at Talent Summit this afternoon. She says, buying technology is not a recruiting strategy. How you use it is. You need and deserve products that work well and partners who help you get the most out of them. Okay, let's dive into part 2 of our market research. We've been talking about needing to do more and why the more needs to come from technology when you're getting less budget and less people. Over the past year, the GEM team has collected insights from over 2,000 conversations with TA teams. Some are customers, some are prospective customers, and some are just people in our networks that we really trust. We asked them in various forms, what technologies and initiatives are you investing in this year and why? There was remarkable consistency in the top themes and 3 that clearly stood out from the rest. So we've summarized them to give you a benchmark for your own strategy. As with any good list, we'll count down in reverse order. Third is talent brand and candidate experience. One reason this ranked highly is that in-person events are finally back after close to 3 years, which is quite exciting. Another is that many companies learned the hard way from COVID that they need warm candidates ready at a moment's notice, whether it's for a critical backfill or maybe a full hiring restart. So they're investing in talent communities, career sites, and broader recruitment marketing strategies. The second major investment area is automation and AI, which I'm sure is a big surprise. Ever since ChatGPT and generative AI hit the mainstream in January of this year, everyone started seeing the possibilities. That includes recruiting teams, but also software vendors. Something we've heard time and time again is that it's still really hard to sort out the hype from what's actually helpful today. Despite that, most teams know they need to embrace AI, and they're testing it in different parts of the recruiting process. They're doing things like generating interview insights and filtering applications. And in GEM, we've seen rapid adoption of our automated sequence writing feature. Now, the big reveal. The number one initiative TA teams are investing in is consolidation. Doesn't mean one tool that does it all, because there's really no such thing. And there's too much at stake to go back to spreadsheets and notepads and what we were doing 10, 15 years ago. But the need to have fewer tools that do more is real. Many tech stacks have ballooned to the point that there's overlap everywhere. And many of the products are collecting dust because nobody's using them. A team leader we talked to from a health tech company summed it up perfectly when they said, "My team's overwhelmed, finance is making cuts, so we just need to simplify everything." So, what should you do with all this information? As you face the hard decision in front of you, it can be helpful to know what others are doing and thinking, but it can also be helpful just to know that you're not alone. Naturally, GEM would love to be part of your strategy going forward, which leads to our final chapter in the session, product announcements. For that, I'll hand off to GEM's head of product, Sarah Koo.
Thanks, Jeff. And hey, everyone, it's great to be here. I'm really excited to unveil some new products today. The announcements I'll cover next are broken into 4 sections based on what they help you accomplish. You'll likely notice that what we're building is all designed to help you do more with less and strongly correlated to the market feedback Jeff shared just before this. Section 1 is all about ways to attract, engage, and hire talent faster, which aligns to the focus on talent brand and candidate experience that we just heard about. GEM has always offered a variety of ways to source great talent, whether that's from LinkedIn, from Indeed, or rediscovering past candidates from your ATS. And very recently, we announced a suite of products for talent marketing that help you attract and engage candidates by building custom career sites, hosting and attending recruiting events, capturing warm leads, and nurturing candidates from a single platform that's built on top of your CRM. Since the launch of our talent marketing solutions, it's been exciting to see so many amazing use cases come to life. Coinbase's CEO recently tweeted a link to their talent community sign-up page created with GEM. Tons of our customers have created gorgeous landing pages to host candidate-facing content. And last year alone, we had over 40 customers using GEM's event solution at Grace Hopper to capture leads, organize them into talent pools, and stay in touch with them afterwards using our branded email campaigns. As Jeff mentioned earlier, in-person events are very much back. And this year, we already know that the number of companies using GEM to manage their presence at Grace Hopper, Afrotech, and numerous other events throughout this fall is going to be unprecedented. Our customers have been thrilled to keep all their workflows and leads in one place while also saving money. They no longer need separate software to manage events and can consolidate everything into their CRM platform. So if you'd like to learn more, there's actually a talent marketing demo later this afternoon, and you can also check out the link on the screen. I also highly recommend the session today with Visa, Pinterest, Nissan, and Spring Health on this very topic. Next, I'll share new ways you can use GEM to maximize recruiter effectiveness using automation and AI. As you probably all know by now, AI has reached a point where repetitive tasks can be nearly fully automated. And those of you who have been with GEM for a while also likely know that we've been workflow and efficiency focused since day one. So as AI has matured, we've thoughtfully embedded it into key parts of GEM's core workflows, such as sequence creation and outreach personalization, to save you the time and energy it takes to tailor your messaging to each candidate. I don't know about you, but as a hiring manager writing sequences, I quickly run out of ways to say, I like your background and your skill set looks great, but it feels wildly magical to just tell Gem what you want your 3-stage sequence to touch on about your company and the role, have it spit out a nicely worded series of emails, and have it personalize each one based on the resume of the person you're reaching out to. We've also heard how much time you all spend flipping through inbound applicants one by one and how inefficient and manual that process is in the ATS. So when we launched Gem's applicant review solution last year, we developed the functionality with efficiency as a top priority, leading to features you all asked for, like filtering on knockout questions, bulk advance and reject, and allowing you to text or sequence applicants right from there. And since then, we recently layered in AI to make the experience even lower effort and higher reward. Gem now uses generative AI to automatically suggest the best keywords to search for based on the specific job rec you're reviewing, and even highlighting each keyword in the applicant's resume for easy skimming. We've married the best of AI with ultimate transparency and control to make your workflow faster without removing any of the decision-making power or reasoning from you, the talent expert. If you'd like to learn more about everything you just saw, check out the link on the screen. And later today at Summit, there's also a great discussion on embracing the AI shift. It's hosted by the hilarious Chad and Cheese duo, who you may know from their popular podcast, and they'll be joined by AI experts from the U.S. Equal Employment Commission and NYU. Our second to last product update is about Talent Compass, our recruiting analytics suite that helps you run talent acquisition like a data-driven business. In addition to the dashboards, industry benchmarks, and full funnel analytics many of you have come to know and love, you can now use the Gem Capacity Planner to make sure you're allocating recruiting resources according to your company's hiring plans. And you can now also import attrition metrics from your HRIS to get ahead of future hiring need and identify trends in your hiring efforts as potential leading indicators of candidate quality. To learn more about these exciting new releases in Talent Compass, check out the link on the screen. There's also a demo this afternoon, as well as a broader discussion on unlocking data for strategic impact with leaders from Capital One and Zillow. And last but not least, our biggest announcement, and the one I'm most excited for, is that Gem is building an ATS. Over the past few years, this request has come from countless customers, including many of you here today, on a near weekly basis. I can't tell you how many times customers have asked me completely unprovoked, is Gem going to build an ATS? Would Gem ever consider building an ATS? Can Gem please build an ATS? With the strong pressure you're all feeling to do more with less and consolidate your tech stack, now is finally the right time for Gem to round out the recruiting tech stack in a way that allows all your workflows to work better together while saving you money. So here's what you need to know. We've been working behind the scenes with a select group of 15 design partners across industries and company sizes who are helping guide your product development. The first version of Gem ATS, available in the coming months, will be designed for companies with more standard recruiting needs, which tend to be smaller and mid-sized companies. But early next year, we'll be able to support larger companies with more complex recruiting processes, which roughly maps to companies with a few thousand employees. So if you're interested in learning more or getting an early look at Gem ATS, we'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback. So please visit the link on the screen and let us know. And perhaps most importantly, Gem's existing solutions, all the workflows you already know and love today, will continue to be supported in an ATS agnostic way. So if you prefer to use Gem alongside Greenhouse, Smart Recruiters, Workday, you name it, you'll be able to continue doing so just as you do today. After hearing this, some of you may be wondering, aren't there tons of ATSs out there already? Do we really need another ATS? How will Gems be different? For a long time now, Gem has built solutions for TA workflows to ease pain, increase efficiency, and make TA teams perform at their best. Some of those solutions are built on top of the ATS, like application review and our talent pipeline Kanban board, which are very much focused on managing in-process candidates. So we've naturally been inching closer to ATS-like functionality, which is why I think many of you may actually not be all that surprised that we're building an ATS now. I think I even heard one customer say, finally, when I told them about our ATS plans last week. But we want you to see it for yourself and make your own judgment. To get you excited, here's a sneak peek of what we're working on. To bring it all together, here's what you can expect from GEM ATS. First is simplicity and usability. We've heard from so many of you that your ATS is clunky and mediocre at best. It feels like the simple ones are missing the features you need, and the ones with the configurability are needlessly complicated. One customer I talked to mentioned that the ATS they use, which I'll refrain from naming, seems to hide everything behind a million clicks and menus. Our approach to building an ATS is the same one we've taken to building the rest of GEM. Focus on the recruiter experience by listening to your feedback. That means minimizing clicks, creating beautiful, intuitive UIs, and showing the right information at the right time, but all without sacrificing any configurability or scalability for sophisticated, nuanced recruiting processes and larger teams. The second thing you can expect from GEM ATS is that we will be the best all-in-one hiring solution. The ATS is core infrastructure for you all, like the foundation of your house. It has to be rock solid and scalable for future changes and growth. But what makes the house great is everything on top of the foundation, like the kitchen, with a dishwasher hopefully, and bedrooms, ideally with ample closet space. And that's where GEM's other products come in. Our ATS will be the foundation and the core of a bundle that includes the rest of our well-loved solutions, like sourcing, CRM, talent marketing, and analytics. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, you can still bring your own ATS if you prefer, and things will work great just as they do today. But if you use everything from GEM, it'll all work better together, similar to how Apple products create magical experiences, where AirPlay, AirDrop, AirPods, and sharing work so fluidly you don't even have to think about connecting devices to each other. And when you go the all-in-one route with GEM, using our ATS, our CRM, and all the rest of your recruiting workflows on top, it'll be more cost-effective with fewer brittle integrations, making it a win-win for your finance, RecOps, and IT teams. And finally, what you'll get with GEM ATS is innovation. As excited as I am to build GEM ATS, I'm also so disheartened by how many of you have told us that other ATSs aren't innovating anymore. Many ATSs today are actually owned by private equity firms, which shift their focus to profits and margins and not on product development. Other ATSs are part of broader finance or HR suites, where the ATS is an afterthought, not their primary product line. We encourage you to join our early access program and follow along to see how quickly we're developing GEM ATS with your needs at the forefront. So that's a quick overview of what's coming. But again, please reach out to learn more. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, back to you, Steve.
Wow. Thank you, Sarah. Super exciting updates. I am especially excited that the day has finally come for GEM to launch our own ATS. We've covered a lot together today, and it's about time for you to jump into the other great sessions that you came here for Talent Summit to see. Before you do, I want to bring this full circle. We're definitely in a challenging time in our industry. There's no question about it. The era of efficiency is here, and many of you are being asked to do more with less, meaning you need more from your technology. To get there, consider asking the hard questions about your investments. What's actually being used and what's collecting dust? Which products do multiple things where you could consolidate? And finally, which vendors are providing the right level of support and are actually helping you maximize your investments? If you focus on those areas, you can and you will get more from your technology. In the end, getting back to basics, it's a good thing for the industry, even if the conditions that are driving it aren't the ones that we would hope for. So with that, thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Talent Summit. I'm going to turn it back over to Brandis, and she's going to lead us all into the next session.